Hello, folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep Podcast, episode 25. And my name is Ruth. I'll be your host. Welcome to my little corner of Vermont. And it is springtime. We're outside again. This is so exciting. I think I've got the driest day of the week coming up. I think it's going to rain the rest of the time. So you might be hearing in the background a chainsaw. My husband's trying to free up some of the sheep fencing from some pine boughs that came down during winter. So since this is the only dry day we'll have this week, he's trying to get all that stuff done. It's just life on the farm as we know it. But I'm happy to have a nice warm day here. To podcasts, so I welcome all of you, both new and returning viewers. Thank you for your support. I'm gonna be fighting the wind with my hair, I can tell already, but that's okay. Cooper's by my side here. You might see his head or butt coming up in the photo. I have got my hummingbird feeder out, and I have a hummingbird already. So exciting. Yes, it is hummingbird season, so yeah, excited to have them back. So I guess I should tell you what I'm wearing, and I can't tell you a lot about it because I made it so long ago that it wasn't even a Ravelry entry, and I don't have a name or the type of yarn I used. I have no idea. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that, but I do like it. It's a nice transitional piece, and as you can see, it has a nice open crochet panel there and two different colors. So, and I also like the 3/4 length sleeves, or the elbow length sleeves. Yeah, so I think I've worn this before. So yeah, for anybody that's new here, this is my podcast about crocheting, knitting, spinning, and life on the farm and in the state of Vermont as I know it. So welcome everyone, and I guess I'll get right into it. Today I have some crochet to show, some knitting, just a little bit of spinning, and I do have some acquisitions as well. Some incoming yarn from last weekend. We were away last weekend visiting family downstate, and so I popped into a yarn store down there during LYS Day, which was last Saturday, and enjoyed looking around, had my mother in tow, and she enjoyed sitting and talking to the patrons as well as the owner while we were there. All right, so as I always do, I start off with crochet. I don't have any finished objects to show this go around. I do have my jean and sweater, which you've seen if you've been with me a million times, and it's coming along actually, and I'm glad. I did put quite a bit of time into it these past 2 weeks. This is a Tunisian crochet sweater, and it is done in the round, top down. So let me just get it out here for you. Yeah. So here is the front, and I really did get quite a bit done since the last time we spoke, and I think I have about 15 rows more to go, but I've been trying it on as I go to make sure that it has the correct length for my body. And as you can see, I've stopped making bobbles here, but I'm really loving the color and the color pooling in this yarn. And if I haven't said it before, this is this is the yarn that I'm using. And it is from Blue Barn Fiber Arts in Idaho. So that's how it looks in the skein, and then how it's caked up, and then how it's crocheted up. So yeah, coming along nicely. And then once I have those rows done on the body, I'll be moving along to the sweater, the sleeves here. And yeah, should be done. It fits really well, so having a good time with that. And of course, here's my great big long Tunisian crochet hook for the sweater. I recommend the pattern. It's very well written, very clear, and this is by Abby Made. And that's the picture from, this is from More It magazine, I think number 3. All right, so the next thing I wanted to share with you is the Take Two shawl, and this was inspired by Claudia from the Sunbird Crochet Project. Podcast rather. She had one on there that she was making, and she got it done. And I was very much impressed with it. This is a pattern by Mariana Mueller, and she's otherwise known as Sweet Crochet Dreams on Ravelry. And here is that shawl. So it has a lot of texture to it, a lot of color work, yeah. And so I was very intrigued, and I just went stash diving and got 5 crazy colors. So we'll see how this turns out, but I did get the first section done, which is great. Worked on that pretty hard too to get this going here. So here is the first section. Maybe I should do that. So as you can see, it's a triangle, but we also have a lot of texture going on there. The yarn has a lot going on as well. It's this really minty green with a lot of speckles going on. So my next section will be done in this yarn, and I'll be going up quite a bit in size well, not quite a bit, about 1.5 millimeters in size. And this is Mitchell's Creations. This is fingering weight. They're all fingering weight yarns. The first one is from 3 Irish Girls Yarn Inc. And this one colorway is called Rolling in the Clover. And that's a merino nylon base. This is also a fingering weight merino nylon base, and so that'll be my next color. So going into the shawl. So yeah, we'll see. And I think I showed the other 3 prior to this, but equally as bold and crazy. So, and I'm just kind of winging it as to which color I add next. So yeah. So it'll make a statement if nothing else. Yeah, so I got to get that wound up, that next skein. This first section was done on a 3 millimeter hook, and then the next section is going to be done on a 4.5 millimeter hook. So I had a bit of a step up there, but I think it's just to kind of keep, since the stitches are different, it's kind of keeping it from the fabric getting bunched up and that sort of thing. All right. So I wanted to share 2 things with you. I've been kind of commissioned to make 2 items, and I wanted to show you the first one. This is the Lost in Time shawl, which I think a lot of people, this is a very popular pattern, and I offered it to make one out of yarn from the woolly thistle, and this is their Rambler. And the Rambler is their own yarn. It's a sock weight yarn or fingering weight yarn. And once again, the pattern is Lost in Time. It's been out for a while. It's a very stunning shawl in that it tends to use a lot of colors as well as a lot of texture. And it's a stunning piece when it's done. And well, actually, it's a stunning piece as you're moving along through it too, I have to say. But wanted to show you the colors I'm using. This is the Rambler yarn from the woolly thistle, and this is one of their newer colors. It's called Merry Bells. And then this is their Lichen. This is their Lake color, the blue. And then the final color is Lupin. Whoops, everything's going to the floor again, as usual. So these lovely colors I chose to start the shawl. And let me share it with you. I want to make sure I'm showing you the front, because there is a definite front and back to this shawl. So there it is. This really is a lot of fun to make. And the colors are really, actually they go well with my backyard right now with all that kind of lichen green coming out as the leaves make their appearance. So yeah, for sure it will need to be blocked, and there are a lot of ends to work in with this type of shawl. And it all depends, of course, you know, if you use one color per row and change the color every row, so you're going to have more ends to weave in later on. But that doesn't, I don't find that particularly daunting. I kind of just go with the flow with that kind of thing. So I always like to see the finished product. So yeah, so that's the Lost in Time shawl. But yeah, that I'm using a 4mm hook, so a G hook in US. Yeah, and so I just wanted to share that in case one of you has been inspired by the Lost in Time shawl. If you have made one, let me know, and let me know what you think about it. I think it's a stunning shawl. I first saw it many years ago at New York Sheep and Wool Festival at Rhinebeck. I saw it up in a booth that was selling alpaca blend yarn, and it was gorgeous. It was just absolutely stunning. And then the other commission I wanted to share this one as well with you. A lot of crochet commissions, but this is the Machar. I want to say, I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. The Machar Tank, and it's in this book. This is the Journal of Scottish Yarns, and it's called Yarn. And this is issue 3. So this issue came out about a year ago, spring summer 2023. And this is the Machar Tank. And I am making this in sauna yarn, and if you have been a viewer of the podcast, you'll know that I made an Airy Fairy cardigan from sauna yarn. This is a different shade. It's called Sarah Chief. So that's a sauna yarn. It's a 50-50, so it's 50% wool, 50% cotton, and it is spun in a lovely mill in Spain. And this is how far I've gotten with this. This is a very well-written pattern as well. It just marches you through. So it's done top down, and I'm working on the back right now. Here's the front, the public side of the back. So public facing side of the back. Yeah, and it's a pretty stitch. So nice little spring summery top, done in a 50-50 blend wool cotton. And I am using a 3mm hook. So seems to be the theme. But yeah, so this will be the back, hard to show on me right now, but yeah. So a little bit of a beautiful little tank top. Here is my swatch. So I just wanted to show you that. Probably the way the stitch goes is this way. So yeah, so having fun with that as well. Feel a little squirrely right now because I have four crochet projects I'm moving between. So those are my commission makes. So moving on to knitting, I have a finished object that I need to share with you. And this by far is what I spent most of the time on last weekend when I was traveling. I had totally forgotten, not totally, but you know how it goes, that I had signed up for this knit along with Sarah Shearer, who, if you don't know, specializes in creating gnomes. She puts one out every year and she runs a make along. And before I knew it, I had bought the kit of yarn, and I'm happy to say that the kit, the dyer of the yarn hails from Vermont. She's right north of me here in Vermont. And I wanted to try out her yarn, and so and I love Sarah's kits. I made one last year, which I think I showed on the podcast. But without further ado, here is Nimble. And I believe this is Woolens and Nosh, the colorways kit from Woolens and Nosh. And this colorway is Daffodil. So the way she dyed the yarn is so ingenious. It all came as one skein, the white, the stripe yarn as well, and then the contrast. So you had to separate it out into 3 separate things, but that was no problem. So I separated it out in 3 different balls, and then she released the different clues over several days, and the last clue, I believe, was this past Monday. Yeah, this past Monday. And so I, last weekend, started him, and I just couldn't stop until he was done. So he is very sweet and cute. The only thing I did different was she recommends putting poly pellets in when you're stuffing him, and if you're not familiar with those, they're kind of they're plastic pellets, basically, and they're tiny, and I have had a really bad history with poly pellets. I have stuffed things already with the regular polyfill, and then the pellets are supposed to add weight to the bottom so that he sits pretty well, so it sits solid on a surface. And inevitably, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but those poly pellets work their way out of my work, and then they're everywhere. And I just decided that yeah, I can't be a poly pellet person. Say that 3 times fast. So what I did instead is, to give him a base, I just kind of cut a circle out of some, it wasn't even cardboard, it was like cardstock. And as I was closing the bottom, I just kind of fit that cardstock in there, stuffed him, you know, lightly as directed, and he, I'm happy to say, sits just fine in my palm and otherwise. So, and this is not going to be a toy for a child, so I'm not worried about, you know, the cardstock being dislodged or anything like that. So, but yeah, here he is, Nimble. Stinking adorable. I love him. So he will go on my shelf next to all my other little animals and amigurumi, and I think I will leave him out though. I think he's an all-around gnome, all-around year gnome. Where some gnomes tend to look Christmassy, he's not. He's definitely a springtime into summer gnome. So yeah, that's Nimble. And then moving on in knitting, I wanted to just give you an update on my project for the Shetland Islands, which I'm hoping that I will get done in time to wear on my trip that my husband and I will be taking in July. This is the Flora Beanie, which was Shetland Wool Week's hat of the year, or hat for their Shetland Wool Week last year, 2023. Shetland Wool Week is held in September. So yeah, this, and you can do it in all sorts of different yarns. J&S has a colorway for this hat. I'm doing mine in Jamieson's of Shetland, and I managed to get up to beyond the ribbing. So here's what this looks like. Oop. We got the bugs coming out too. So yeah, yeah, I'm very happy with this. I had a misstep when I started here with the colorways. I did end up ripping it back because I found out that I had twisted my starting cast on, and that's a no-no. You will not get a adequate project if you twist your cast on. So I had to go back and correct that. So then I corrected the color work mistake I made in the brim. So, or yeah, in the ribbing. So now I am happy to report all colors are as pattern states. So, so hopefully that's moving along nicely. It's nice to do color work, and this hat is just really a stunner. So yeah. So that's the Flora Beanie. And I want to give credit to, yes, this is Allison Rendall is the actual designer of that beanie. And this is the yarn I'm using, Jamieson's of Shetland. And I think I have 6 colors altogether. Yep. So 6 colors for the Flora. All right. You know what I have next in my notes? I wanted to show you my work, just my progress on my halftone. And so let me just show you. I did manage to get some time in on this, but the body is not yet done yet because it is fingering weight yarn, and fingering weight yarn I think takes forever to knit or see progress with, but we soldier on, right? So if you're not familiar, the halftone sweater is this one, and it is by Kim of Indigo Knits. So that's hers, and this is mine. So as you can see, getting down there, I have a few more inches to add, and I will try it on before I start the ribbing just to make sure that the length is good for my body. But as you can see, we're getting right down there. We're almost there. So, but you know, going round and round and round, it's good TV knitting. So the just wanted to let you know that the top color is FC 37, I believe, mix. Yeah. So yeah, FC 37 mix. This is J&S 2-ply. And then the bottom, the gray color is 203, and I have that in a cone. So the cones are unwashed, so they look a little wonky next to the washed stuff, but once you wash, it all comes out in the wash, so to speak. So yeah, so there you go. That's my halftone. Number 3 needles. So yep, small work, small needles, right? And just wanted to give you an update on that. And then you will have probably seen me working on my Nordic Nights by Jen Steingass. That is the top-down pullover. I haven't made much progress on it. It's in the color work, the heavy color work stage right now. And one of the colors I'm using is a hand spun yarn that I spun from braids that were dyed by Dirty Girl Fibers, and she's a Vermont fiber person. And the other color I purchased when I was in Maine in February, yeah, from Maine Fiber Knits. I'll put it on the screen. I can't recall right now, but and then in spinning, I just wanted to let you know that I'm soldiering on as well with the 3 colorways. I had 3 colorways that I'm spinning up for the shift, which is by Andrea Mowry. So that's her shift. This is a kind of shawl slash cowl, which is connected so that it actually stays very nicely. Once you put it on, it kind of stays put. You don't have to mess with it too much. So one of my friends made one of these, and it was stunning on her and just lovely. The first yarn I made was from a braid from Hello Yarn, and it's called the colorway is Paint by Number. So that I shared this before. So that's the first one, and then I'll put a picture in here of my e-spinner. And this is the colorway, and this is from Miss Babs. Yeah. And then I didn't bring it out here. I have one more colorway to do, but we're almost there. I think we're like halfway through getting this spun up. And then I'll spin the final 3rd braid, and we'll see how they all come together. So that should be a neat reveal. All right, so that's it for spinning. I just wanted to share with you just the acquisitions from the Yarn Attic, which is a local yarn store to my mom in New Jersey, in Hillsborough, New Jersey. And I had my eye on looking for a yarn to make this Starfall bandana. And I don't know if you can see, but there's some really cool little textured stitches there. And it grabbed my eye, and I was looking for a yarn with a long repeat to it. And I saw this at the Yarn Attic, and this is Lana Grossa Mylan Vite Merino, and this is hand dyed. And I just love that pinky color, so really caught my eye. And then the speckles too, just gorgeous. So this is for this future project. Once again, something, a bandana type shawl that stays on the neck very well once it's placed there. This is made in Italy and hand dyed in India. So well-traveled yarn. And then finally, the other thing I bought was they had a sample made up, of course, and I saw the sample and just loved it. I don't want to make a whole heck of a lot of noise here, so I'm going to just pull out the pattern here. This is called Seeking Solace bandana. Are you sensing a theme here? I'm in the bandana mode. The stay on your body cowl. So anyway, this is Let me just make sure I'm not giving anything away here. That's what it looks like. And they had several colorways that the Yarn Addict made up, of course. This is Malabrigo, and who doesn't love Malabrigo? But those are the colors that I thought were really kind of cool. I've worked with this colorway before, believe it or not. So I tend to gravitate towards those colors. So this is Anniversario, and let's see what the other one is without making too much noise here. This is Malabrigo Rios, which is their worsted weight, and yeah, Pines. So the green is called Pines, and the variegated color is called Anniversario. Yeah, and so this is the Seeking Solace bandana, and they did, I purchased the pattern there, and they did transfer it to my Ravelry library while I was there, so that's good. I have it in both places now, the printed as well as the Ravelry libraries. So yeah, so that's fun. I mean, I kind of like to share what I pick up along the way here with all of you. So I think that's all my makes I wanted to share. This coming weekend is New Hampshire Sheep and Wool Festival. I will be going with a friend and hopefully meet up with my friend Tammy while I'm there. And the friend that I'm bringing has just started with needle felting. And so when she started making her little needle felted figures, I said, well, you know, there's this person and then there's this person, and you can get roving at the sheep festival. And so she's like, when do we go? So yeah, so I'll be bringing her along to the New Hampshire Sheep and Wool Festival, and hopefully taking you along as well. I'll try to get as much footage as I can, depending on how crowded it is. I am a short person, so sometimes I have to kind of, you know, work the camera. So so we'll see. But yeah, that should be fun. Looking forward to that. We're going on Saturday, and so then we'll have Sunday to recover. But yeah, that'll be great. So looking forward to that. And then, of course, any other shenanigans, this is, we're going into the busy season here now for me and the garden, and hopefully I'll be able to kind of show you how that's moving along. Hopefully I have put footage in of the seedlings that I started indoors, some of them several weeks ago and others that I just started recently. And every year I say to myself, I'm going to do less, and it turns out to be more. So, so there's that. But growing things is fun for me. So hopefully we'll get some good veg out of the garden this year. Last year was, you know, we had a lot of rain last year. So this year I'm hoping for more sun than rain. So fingers crossed. So I think that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you found something that has resonated with you here. If you have, please like and subscribe, and let me know where you're listening from or watching from, and any of your projects, or just to say hello. I enjoy reading your comments. So, and until next time, I hope that you're well, stay well, keep crafting, and we'll see you then. Take care now. Bye-bye.